Amanda.
Amanda
asks, how do you define simple living?
Man, I mean, I can define simple.
And I'll define living. Well, I mean, so sometimes when people ask what is minimalism, the thing I say about minimalism is the thing that gets us past the things so we can make room for life's most important things.
Mm-hmm.
Now, sometimes that word minimalism is the perfect word because it conjures up these images of like stark white walls and empty warehouses and owning very little. And sometimes that's intriguing for folks because the average American house has 300,000 items in it, so we're steeped in stuff, and minimalism feels like the antidote to that. And I personally believe that minimalism is a tool, so it's part of the antidote. It's a tool for us to rid our lives of the excess so we can live more simply. So if minimalism isn't the right word for you, maybe there are other words for you. Sometimes people will just say simple living or simplicity or simplifying.
Or deliberate living. I mean, that's how I look at it, man. It is using your resources intentionally and making sure that your focus and your attention is exactly where you need it in your life to live a meaningful life.
Yeah, and so if we're talking about intention, the opposite of intention is just going with the flow and living without intention.
Yeah.
And so if you're living without intention, I think most of us are. It's like when you think of maybe meditation, for example, the opposite of meditation is just random thoughts. You know, it's excess thinking. And that's what we all do. We all just our minds are filled with thoughts.
Well, yeah, especially in the world we live in right now, man. I mean, how many impulses do we have a day? That I would love to see a study on that, like impulses that we have today versus 100 years ago.
Yeah.
So 100 years ago, you don't have social media. You don't have email. You don't have technology, and that is just vying at our attention. It's all of it wants our attention. So yes, going with the flow is just reacting to every single impulse.
Yes, and so simple living means we have a finite amount of resources, whether that is your money, maybe it is your energy, maybe it is your attention.
Yeah.
Maybe it is your time or your talent or your skill set. These are all resources, but they're not infinite, right? And so we have to be deliberate with the resources we have. But being unintentional means that we let anything in and we just accept it. When I had the big house in the suburbs, it was a relatively nice house, but of course I had to fill every corner of the house. And if there was space, I just let whatever in. I didn't do so with intention. So intentionality or simple living, if I were to define it, is the removing of the excess so we can make room for what's truly important.